Have you ever noticed how some people just have a natural way to bring a light to every room that they enter? Have you ever felt that instant connection with someone just because you shared a good laugh with them? Now, what if I told you that humor is one of the most underappreciated tools for building deeper relationships with other people? And what if the thing that makes you laugh is also the thing that makes you even more magnetic to other people? How often do we overlook humor as one of our unique gifts and superpowers? And could embracing humor be the key to unlocking those deeper connections and making a much more lasting impact and impression on the relationships of those who are in your sphere of influence? Now, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and author of the book, The Giver Method, which you can now get The Giver Method on Amazon. If you go to Amazon, look for The Giver Method, it'll look like this, and get yourself a copy today. A lot of videos in the past we've done, you couldn't do that, and now you can. So you can go get a copy of The Giver Method. Now, humor, this idea of humor, what we're talking about, it isn't just entertainment or telling jokes. Like, it's a superpower that can create meaningful connections. It can lighten burdens and leave a lasting positive impact on those around you. It really does have the power to ease tension or foster and create more trust or create those moments where, that people carry with them long after the laughter fades. And so today we're diving into how humor, when it's used intentionally, can amplify the principles that are found in the Giver Method and really transform your relationships. Now, before we dive into it, if you are new here, please hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Of course, you can like the video, leave your comments along the way. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or The Giver Method or thegivermethodbook.com if you want to learn more about us, learn about how we help people, or get access to the book. We don't want you to miss out on any of the topics, ideas, tips, tricks, conversations we have about unleashing your gifts and creating more meaningful impact. Now, the Giver Method, once again, if you need to, on the channel, there's going to be a whole bunch of different videos on what the Giver Method is and breaking them down in depth. Now, if you are new, let me just give you the quick rundown. GIVER is an acronym, and it's about, the Giver Method is all about discovering and developing your unique gifts and superpowers and using them in a way to create value for others while building meaningful relationships. And so today I want to, focus on how to amplify these connections and create lasting impact. Now, as I go through each principle, I'm going to cover what it is, how it works, things like that. And then I'm going to share an action item. So I highly recommend you grab a piece of paper or open up a note and jot down your thoughts on those action items while I give them. It's great that you're watching the video, and I hope you watch all of my videos, but it's not about just watching the video. It's about you taking action and taking steps after watching the video. So go ahead, grab that piece of paper, open up a note so you're ready to go, and let's dive into the ways that you can use humor as a superpower for connection with others around you. And so the first one I want to talk about is basically using humor as a bridge for connection, because humor is one of the simplest and most effective ways to build connections with others. It really does, it transcends language and cultural and social barriers and creates an instant sense of comfort and inclusion. Any sort of shared laughter can dissolve tension. It can even turn awkward situations into opportunities for genuine connection. I mean, it really is a way to say, I see you and we're in this, we're here together, offering a sense of unity that can ease a lot of the problems in a complicated world. So humor isn't about just telling the best jokes. It's about creating shared moments of levity. It invites others to, into a space of mutual understanding, and often serves as icebreakers that allow, conversations to flow way more naturally. When it's used thoughtfully, humor can transform a group of strangers into collaborators or a tense room into a welcoming one. And so when you're entering into a new or uncertain environment, use humor to set the tone. You can always do that. Set a lighthearted observation about the situation, or maybe share a short, non-controversial story. For example, if the room is really quiet before a meeting, you might say, is this the part where we pretend not to be checking our phones under the table? This invites laughter. It relaxes the group. The key is to read the room and gauge what will resonate with that audience. So avoid sarcasm or humor that could exclude or offend. Instead, focus on creating these shared moments that everyone can enjoy. Practice observing everyday situations for humorous elements so that you have a repertoire of these different things in your tool belt to draw from. And so the action item for this is going to be, as you're going through, read the energy of the room, pay attention to the atmosphere, and adjust humor accordingly. Start with light and very inclusive humor. Avoid that sarcasm, inside jokes, that might exclude others. maybe share some sort of relatable observations, commenting on something you all have in common, to create a sense of unity, and then create moments of those shared laughter and inviting others to join in the humor to strengthen this connection. Now, our second one that I want to talk about is, a lot of times people will avoid self-deprecating humor. And I believe that it's a way to build relatability when you use it properly. Self-deprecating humor, is the artful way that you can show humility and relatability. By, gently laughing at your own quirks, your own mistakes, you make yourself more approachable to create this space where others feel comfortable about being themselves. It's a way of saying, I don't take myself too seriously, which helps others, and builds more trust and support and lets them be more open. This type of a humor is particularly effective in, breaking down maybe any sort of a hierarchical or formal barriers that there could be. And it demonstrates confidence because it shows that you're secure enough to share your imperfections. And when it's used appropriately, it helps others to see their own humanity reflected in yours. So you can think of, funny or mildly embarrassing story that showcases a moment of imperfection. Keep the tone light and avoid anything that could make others question your competence. That's the big thing you got to always be careful of, is finding that fine balance. And so the goal is to create laughter, not undermine yourself. Be intentional about when and where you use self-deprecating humor to ensure that it's going to fit the context and doesn't overshadow the value that you're bringing to the table. And so use it to ease tension, to warm a crowd, and create this instant connection in one-on-one conversations. So action step here is going to be to reflect on personal moments. Think about those relatable, funny experiences. Share it with a purpose so that you ensure, use the story to make a point as a way of easing the tension, and ensure the humor comes off from a place of self-assurance. Use the story to build rapport and to engage and encourage others. Now, our third one that I want to dive into is humor can be used naturally as that diffuser of any sort of tension, because humor has the ability to cut through stress and redirect energy in challenging moments, whether it's a heated discussion, a high-pressure deadline, or awkward silence. Humor can create that pause that resets the mood and encourages everyone to be more constructive dialogue. And by, addressing tension with humor, you acknowledge the situation without escalating it. Humor, it doesn't dismiss the seriousness of the issue, but, provides a moment of relief that allows everyone involved to approach the challenge with a clearer, calmer perspective. And so when you notice tension is rising, use humor to shift the focus. This sort of a subtle change or injection of levity can break the cycle of stress and help people, kind of recalibrate with where they're at. Now, you have to practice the timing and sensitivity, as always with humor. Humor should never come across as a dismissive or insensitive. Instead, it should shed light. It should be a light for people. It should be inclusive. It should show empathy while creating this space for resolution. And so you reflect on those moments in your life where tension was eased, with humor, and think about how you could create similar moments in new contexts and situations. And so you want to notice when tension's rising and be attentive to the emotional climate, because there's a time where it's not right to do that. Use gentle humor and keep it appropriate and sensitive to the situation. And then, share those, relatable moments. Find those common grounds that lighten the mood, and then transform, looking to transform the stress into shared smiles is going to help everyone take that moment to breathe and reset. Now, the fourth one is about storytelling with humor and how that creates a lasting impact. A well-told story has the power to captivate, to teach, to inspire, and adding humor makes it unforgettable. Humor in storytelling engages your audience on a completely different emotional level, and it makes your message way more relatable and memorable. People, they're just drawn to stories that make them laugh because they evoke shared human experiences. Humorous storytelling doesn't, just entertain. It helps illustrate complex ideas in a simple, accessible way. And so by weaving lighthearted moments into your stories, you're going to ensure that your audience remembers the takeaway long after that conversation has ended. And so you think about these everyday situations where humor just naturally occurs, maybe there's some sort of minor mishap or funny interaction or that unexpected twist that could happen, and craft those stories around moments like this, while trying to tie them to some sort of a larger lesson or point. You've got to practice delivery to ensure that the humor lands effectively. Timing and tone is everything in storytelling, so you could rehearse sharing the stories in front of maybe family member or a friend, a trusted colleague. Keep the stories concise and focus on the humor's relevance to maybe the larger message you're trying to get across. And so you find what you want to do for this is find humor in the everyday moments and look for the funny side in daily life. Share the personal mishaps with purpose, using them to illustrate a point, and then use funny analogies to explain the concepts. Just simplify the complex ideas with humor, and then create those memorable learning moments to ensure that the message is both impactful and enjoyable for those around. Now, our fifth one, humor is a tool for building bridges across differences with others. Humor, it just has this way of highlighting a shared humanity, even among people with different backgrounds, beliefs, or perspectives. And so by finding common ground through laughter, you create this sense of unity that bridges gaps and fosters understanding. Shared humor dissolves barriers and reminds people that, at our core, we're more alike than different, and it shifts the focus from what separates us to what connects us, really paving this way for a deeper dialogue. And so look for those universal experiences that everyone can relate to, like, the quirks of modern technology or unpredictable weather. Avoid humor that maybe pokes fun at sensitive topics or differences, and instead really focus on uplifting and inclusive humor that highlights shared struggles and joys, and pay attention to how people respond to your humor and adjust accordingly to ensure everyone feels included. And so the action items here would be to find that what are those universal experiences to maybe poke fun at or joke about. Topics like the weather, mishaps, or daily challenges that people have. Use that inclusive humor, ensure that the humor doesn't alienate anyone or offend people, and then create these shared moments where you build an inside joke that everyone feels a part of. Build a community through laughter and strengthen the bonds by, enjoying humor together. Our next principle is the idea of being the joy generator and creating the environments where joy can thrive. Because creating spaces where joy is welcomed and shared is a really powerful way to uplift those around you. So when you're doing intentional humor, it invites positivity, it's going to build energy, and it sets the tone for very collaborative and enjoyable interaction. So joy isn't just about that laughter, like we mentioned. It's about creating that atmosphere where people feel valued and seen. And humor can be the spark that shifts the mundane or stressful situation into one that's filled with connection and lightness. And so what we do is we just start by celebrating the wins, like celebrating wins with humor, like giving playful nickname to a project milestone, or creating some sort of really ridiculously humorous team award. Like intentionally seek out the moments where you can inject humor into meetings or family gatherings or social interactions, and encourage others to join in by modeling that lighthearted attitude. And so your action steps here would be to look for the opportunities where you can lighten the mood, like be the person that's going to bring the smile during the tough times. Create those playful transactions, start a fun ritual like a weekly joke session or whatever that may look like. Celebrate the small moments with humor, so recognize each achievement with lightheartedness, and then foster environments where joy is welcome and encourage others to really just share humor and positivity. Now, our next one is using humor to create lasting memories. So the moments we laugh together are often the ones that we treasure the most. Humor adds a unique element to shared experiences, turning really ordinary interactions into extraordinary memories that strengthen our bonds. So whether it's a spontaneous laugh or planned activity, humor, it just leaves this lasting imprint. And these memories serve as anchors in relationships, reminding us of the joy and connection that we've shared in the past. And so what you can do is plan activities that are naturally invite laughter, such as a family game night or trivia challenges or storytelling sessions with, looking for that humorous twist that could be added. And then encourage people to be spontaneous by staying open to the funny moments as they arise. And then what's funny is you're actually going to then make this very, documented, what it is. Document those moments, whether through photos or videos, simply sharing them later with others, and then reflecting on these humorous moments deepens that emotional impact and keeps the joy alive. So once again, just look at it from the perspective of the action steps of, create the opportunities for the laughter, plan the events, be intentional with those activities, document the funny moments, keeping the record with photos or video or whatever that looks like, build traditions with humor in them, establishing these recurring events that can be centered around these joy and humorous moments, and then celebrate joy together by recognizing and appreciating these moments when they happen. Now, our next one is overcoming challenges with humor. Now, challenges are inevitable, but humor can be a powerful tool that helps you to navigate through them. Laughter doesn't just erase difficulties, but it shifts perspective, making moments feel more manageable. Humor lightens the emotional load, which allows you to face your adversity with more resilience and creativity. When humor is used to reframe challenges, it helps us focus on possibilities rather than what's overwhelming. It also sets a tone of hope and adaptability, signaling to those around us that even in tough times can include those moments of joy, humor, levity, and connection. And I saw this a lot when I used to perform comedy, and we would do different shows for groups that are cancer surviving, and benefits and things like that, where there could be a sad undertone, but bringing the humor helps them to forget about their problems for that period of time that they're in there. And so next time, whenever there's challenges you face, look for the lighter side, share what humorous observations there could be, about the situation that could ease the tension or shift the focus. Encourage others to find humor in their struggles by modeling this approach. And, you might share a personal story about a time when laughter helped you through a tough spot, illustrating how humor can turn frustration into these learning moments. And when you do this, you inspire others to adopt a similar mindset. So the action steps here are: notice when people need that lightness, be sensitive to their emotional states, share your experiences, be open with humor, how it's helped you. Create that breathing room for intense moments. So that's where offering lighthearted perspective in a tense moment. And then laughter as a medicine. It ensures, that it helps with healing. And of course, the last one I want to talk about is authenticity in your humor. So this is about being true to your unique style, because your sense of humor is as unique as your fingerprint, and it shapes your personality, by your personality and your experiences and your perspective. Authentic humor builds trust and connection because it comes from a genuine place. It allows, others to just really see and appreciate you for who you truly are without pretense or limitation. And, forcing humor in any way it doesn't align with your natural style can really feel awkward and insincere. I've seen that too many times with people on stage. When you embrace your authentic humor, whether it's witty, dry, goofy, observational humor, you're going to connect with others in a way that feels effortless and meaningful. And so you take the time to understand what kind of humor feels most natural to you. Reflect on moments where maybe you've made others laugh, effortlessly. Was it wordplay? Was it, relatable stories? Was it playful banter? And then lean into those strengths and let them guide you how to bring humor into your interactions. Avoid trying to mimic someone else's style, because it just comes off weird and awkward. Just because it's effective for them doesn't mean it's going to be effective for you. Authenticity is the key to creating lasting connections in any scenario, especially with humor. And so what you want to do is refine your approach by practicing low-pressure situations with trusted friends or family members or colleagues. And over time, as your confidence grows, you could utilize that humor style in different situations. And so your action step here is going to be, identify your humor style by reflecting on what's natural to you. Be confident in the delivery. So, trust that your authentic self is enough. Avoid forcing the humor in any situation. And then connect through authenticity, because people appreciate that, genuineness over perfectionism. Now, there are oftentimes challenges that people encounter, and so I like to cover those. There's this fear of not being funny. Remember, it's not about just being funny. It's about the connection, not the performance. So authenticity always resonates more than rehearsed jokes. Inappropriate timing. Yeah, you have to develop some awareness by observing others and really practicing mindfulness about the context of what you're about to say. Or crossing boundaries. Keep it humor inclusive and uplifting, steering clear of any maybe sensitive topics. So what you do, just start small. Each day, look for an opportunity to bring appropriate humor into a situation. Remember, the goal isn't to be a comedian, but to create these connections through shared lightness and joy and laughter. So when you use your humor as a gift and a superpower, you're not just making people laugh, you're fostering these environments where authentic connections can really grow and flourish from there. Your unique brand of humor is a powerful tool for impact and enhancing how you engage and influence and build relationships with those around you. Now, if you're ready to dive deeper into these ideas of how humor can be amplified, your impact, how your gifts and superpowers can be discovered, developed, and deliver value in that way to others, so that you can increase how you show up in the world and the impact you want to make, then go to thegivermethod.com, join our community. Of course, you could go onto Amazon and get a copy of the Giver Method book. Pretty simple and easy to do. And dive into that. You can get on the newsletter. You can see the other ways we help people out at thegivermethod.com or thegivermethodbook.com. Sign up for the newsletter. We want to give you exclusive insights, things that we have on developing these gift superpowers and making more meaningful connections. Now, if this video resonated with you, then go ahead, give it that thumbs up. Share it with someone that might need to hear a little bit more laughter in their life, and find those ways they can do that. In the comments, I'd love if you tell us about a time when someone's humor made a difference for you, because your story really could inspire others. Once again, it's not about being the funniest person in the room. It's about creating moments of connection through shared joy. Your natural sense of humor, whatever form it takes, is a gift that can transform really ordinary moments into way more meaningful memories. And so until next time, just keep growing and keep giving. And remember that sometimes the lightest touch creates the deepest impact. And so go out and use your gifts and superpowers in the right way for the right people. Start making that greater impact. And so until next time, we will catch you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.